Hey guys, welcome to the Save Continue podcast, where every week we get together and talk about video games and video game related stuff. I'm Shanee Howard. This is Tommy Shelby.
Hello. It's good to be back. I'm back.
This is Ryan Robinson.
Hey guys, good to see you again.
Yeah, he never left.
I didn't.
He held up the fort.
I tried.
You succeeded.
Eh.
And before we get into the show, was there anything that you guys want to talk about as far as games you've been playing? Because I have games I want to talk about.
Oh, really?
Well, I feel like it's funny. I don't feel like I've been playing very many games, but then I like go through it in my head, and I guess I have. So I finished Control, and that's fantastic. I'm trying to get the platinum now, and I started Resident Evil 2 remake finally.
The game's so fucking good.
Yeah, and that's really good. I finished Assemble with Care. It's like a one-sitting game. Finished Sayonara Wild Hearts. Again, like a one-sitting game. They're both fun. I think Monument Valley is better than Assemble with Care, but it's still a fun game.
Are they the same kind of?
Same developer.
Okay.
Been playing a lot of Castle Crashers with the kids.
That game is timeless.
Still holds up.
Yeah.
Nice.
But I'd say this. If you already have it, there's no reason to buy the remaster.
Yeah.
I bought the remaster, and it's the same.
Yeah. I imagined it would be.
Yeah.
I imagined.
But yeah, I think that's about it.
Cool, man.
All right, Ryan?
So nothing too much outside of the normal. A lot of Mortal Kombat. A lot of Red Dead Online. But last night, Tom came to my house, and he came bearing gifts. The gift of Tekken 7.
Yeah, I
Nice.
got Ryan a used copy on the cheap.
Yeah, that game is pretty great. So we were,
Oh, I want to play it.
yeah, I like it a lot, and it's one of those games that just feels good to play. I think, we tried to do some tournament. I think we did like one tournament, right, Tom?
Yeah.
And then after Tom left, I did a couple online matches, and yeah, that game is just great. And like one of the things about it is that tournament thing. Like that is like you can just go into an online tournament, like pretty much whenever you want, and like that's the only game that I've seen that does that more
So,
recently.
like, Super Street Fighter 2 on the Super Nintendo had tournaments built in. You know, but obviously you had to have
Right.
local players.
Right.
Every fighting game needs this, and
Yeah.
and none of them do it.
Yeah, and it's weird
Except Tekken 7.
because Mortal
Yeah.
Kombat, like they front face all of their live tournament stuff. Like they put that in like the title screen, and like their tournament level will like showcase like whatever pro competition tournament is going on. But they don't actually have like a tournament mode in the game, which like seems really weird to me considering like how focused on that stuff that game seems to be. But yeah, and then I've been farting around a little bit with PlayStation Now, just to see like what's going on in there. I would say still not a lot, but yeah, that's pretty much been my didgeridoo.
I forgot my phone today, so if I get some of the names wrong, I'm sorry.
Sure.
But I have been going ham on Apple Arcade.
Yeah.
Like, I even had to set a rule for myself where I couldn't download new Apple Arcade games until I beat other games.
Yeah.
You call that AA, Apple Arcade,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anonymous,
Yeah. Apple's
AA.
Anonymous.
AAA.
Yeah.
AAA.
AAA.
Yes.
You have a card.
I beat Pilgrims.
Which one is that?
It's one of the newer ones. It's like it's kind of like a bartering game. Like you have to do this to do this, and then there's like a bunch of different scenarios you can get. And I feel really proud because I did it all without having to look anything up.
Okay.
Granted, there's only like a finite amount of things that you can do, but still, I did that. I did the Assemble with Carrot, but I did it like playing one day at a time.
Yeah.
And that was super fun. I've never done that with a game before, and that I really enjoyed.
So it's like
actually.
the game's broken up into days.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah. And I did that because like of things that you've done like similar to that. I think that was a really fun way to play it because it was a pretty short game. And then I'm playing the Square Enix game Various Life.
Oh yeah.
I keep trying to pick that game up, but I keep getting distracted by other things.
I feel like so there's so many games that I've been playing that I'm just like I wish I had an Apple TV to play it on. that game in particular, I think would be good at it. Pinball Wizards, I also
Oh, that game is cool.
think would be good, or just playing it with the Xbox controller because I still haven't linked my Xbox controller
Yeah.
like to play that game. So I took Pinball Wizard off there because it's the phone controls for the game are
they
make
bad?
it almost impossible to play it.
No, I don't know. I felt pretty good playing it, but
There's a lot of times where I try to do something like bonuses, but just like the way that it's like configured
Yeah,
on your
yeah,
phone,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like you can easily not do it right.
yeah.
You gotta see the little clip I got for my DualShock 4. It's like fucking $5, and yeah, your phone. It's just like you're playing like a Game Boy almost, you know.
Yeah.
And then I've been playing the Capcom one, the Shinsensuki.
Yeah, it's a Metroidvania one.
Yeah, that one was
That's the
interesting.
underwater one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that game's real cool.
And then I've also been playing oh my gosh, I'm blanking here because I don't have my phone with
Describe it.
me. Into the Dark.
Mm.
Into the.
It's like a newer one. I think came out like 2 weeks ago on like October 5th.
I think that may be what it's called.
And you've played way more of these than I have.
I've also been playing. No, I told you I've been going through them. I got Pattern. That's pretty fun. Possessions was fun. I like the way you could turn that.
Oh yeah, that game's kind of neat.
Well, one of you bring it up, like Apple Arcade games, so I can like go through what I have played.
Have you played Grindstone?
No, I haven't.
That game's really fun.
I just downloaded Oceanhorn.
Fuck Oceanhorn.
I've been playing Choo Choo Rocket.
Yeah, you have.
Tom says fuck Oceanhorn.
And
So don't play that, okay?
And I've kind of gotten to a point where I'm gonna have to look up how to beat this level because I just can't.
Did you play that baseball game?
I haven't played the baseball one because like I said, I have a new rule where I have to beat games before I can download another one. I do want to play Manifold Garden because that looks really cool. Where the Cards Fall.
What the golf?
What the Golf.
is
I've been
cool.
playing that. That one's pretty funny. So this is Pilgrims. What else did I get? Assemble with Care. Atone. I've been playing Atone. The Murder Mystery Theater one.
Okay.
I showed Berto Bleak Sword.
I like that game. That game's neat.
Yeah, it looks like 8-bit Dark Souls, kind of.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Dear Reader, I think it's actually pretty interesting
Yeah, I tried that.
for like wordplay. It's like a good like falling asleep game.
Yeah. It's just basically if you know how to read, you're a master at that game.
Dreadnautical. I beat the Tangle Tower.
Man, you've played a lot of these fucking
No, I
games,
told you I've been
man.
going ham.
It's because it's on her phone.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
You damn millennials and your phones.
Yeah, phone bone.
Yeah.
That's a game I play.
Yeah.
Murder Mystery Machine.
You don't need Apple Arcade to play that game, Tom.
Yeah.
Neocab.
$5 a month.
I already beat Outlanders and like all the objectives and stuff. That game was super fun.
Programmer.
No, I just want more levels for it. Projection, I still haven't beaten that, but I think I'm just going to delete it because I'm not really having fun with it anymore.
Sure.
I've beaten like 3 levels on it so far.
Yeah, don't waste your time if you're not having fun.
Well,
Have you played Punch
really
Planet?
got your $5 worth, huh?
Oh, and I've been playing a little bit of Sayonara Wild Hearts. I'm not
One sitting, dude. Super short.
Just take care of it.
I'm not really, I don't really super enjoy it because it makes me feel very dizzy.
Mm.
Yeah.
Because like the downward motion on some of it.
Yeah.
How about that Shantae?
That's also a game. I have not played Shantae, but that's also a game I wish I had an Apple TV to play it on. So I think the Sayonara Wild Hearts would be really fun on Apple TV.
You have a Switch to play it on.
Then she has
Sure.
to pay for it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, money makes the world go round, Tom.
What else have I played?
Cash rules everything around me. Dollar bill, y'all.
Yeah, Tingle Tower. I really want to play the Get Out Kids because I think that looks interesting.
The Get Up Kids.
Yeah.
The Get Out.
Tom was making a reference to a band.
Oh yes, it is just Various Day Life. That's what it's called. And then, yeah, I played. I feel like a majority of the games on there now.
Cool.
And
You're a mobile expert.
Yeah, you're a resident mobile expert. Pretty
Our
soon,
mobile mogul.
yeah, pretty soon we're gonna have to etch out a segment. Shanee's Mobile Minute.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Triple
Maybe.
A.
yeah.
But yeah,
AAA with
no,
Shanee.
I super enjoy it. Like I really like to get a lot of the games they've picked. I think it's so worth the $5. Definitely.
Like I said, I think it's worth it now, you know?
We'll see.
While it's well curated, it's worth it. I just wonder how long it can maintain that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I see myself like paying for it for at least 3 months.
Yeah.
I don't know about longer than that. Something else will probably catch my interest.
Well, I've already got like 4 people on mine, so it's like $5 for 4 people to be playing these games. It's not bad, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's neat, and I've enjoyed
Do they have
most
to
of the games I
log
played
into
on
your
it.
Apple ID or?
No, they log into their own. You can just opt.
You approve them basically.
Yeah,
Got you. Okay, so I'll need to do that for Birdo.
yeah.
Birdman.
It's funny because like I got my I gave my girlfriend access to mine, and then like but like when you do that, it lets them see, like, the other person see like all the stuff, like all the apps that you have downloaded. So the only games that she's actually been playing are the ones that aren't in Apple Arcade. She's just downloading all the games that I had downloaded before Apple Arcade came out. So, have you played Sneaky Sasquatch?
No, I haven't.
That game's fun. I like that game.
Is it? Okay. Yeah.
I like that game a lot.
Right now I've been trying. What have I been trying to beat?
Resident Evil.
Yeah. Have you played that?
No. No, I've just been playing a lot of various day life, and then also still doing like logic problems.
So, can you tell me? Can you give me take a minute and tell me what is various day life? Because I feel like
RPG, right? Like
Yeah.
old school
kinda,
RPG.
but like, what is it?
It's just like it is basically what you would think like Square Enix would make like for a mobile RPG.
Yeah.
You go. I mean, there is like
Turn-based,
there.
I would assume.
For all the, I haven't done any fighting yet. Like, not really. Like,
Okay.
I've just been doing like day-to-day stuff. Like, I go to work as a warrior, but like I just hit the work option. It does a couple animations, and then I'm back in my in.
Yeah.
So I haven't gotten that far yet. But like, I've chosen my backstory. I've been going around the town. I've been talking to people, collecting stuff. I don't think it's like very like battle based, but it might just be the very beginning of it.
I see.
But it definitely seems like somewhere between like an RPG and a visual novel.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been meaning to try that one out. I don't play a whole lot of phone games, so like I've only played a handful of these, you know.
Yeah.
But like Shantae, I love Shantae, but I want to play that like on my TV, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been playing that Rayman.
I've been thinking about getting like a cheap Apple TV and then just mirror playing.
Oh yeah. You can do that, but there's definitely some latency there.
Yeah, but I think it's okay. Like
Yeah.
for
Sayonara Wild Hearts, I wouldn't want to do that, you know.
yeah.
But I have done that with other games. Well, you know, we did it with fucking My Horse Prince.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I mean, or thinking about possibly getting like the lightning to HDMI adapter. That'd probably be less latency.
yeah, you really don't want to do it unless you actually do sync a controller, though, because like playing on a touch screen while looking at another screen
Yeah.
can be quite difficult.
Yeah.
I mean, it worked for the Wii U.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Did it though?
Because that's how I played Breath of the Wild.
wait, what?
I played Breath of the Wild on the Wii U, and I used the paddle, and I thought it was like really
right, but
really
you
good
weren't
for,
controlling with touch while looking at your television. Is what I'm saying. You
Eh.
know what I mean?
True. Facts.
We played Crazy Taxi that way.
Yeah. Yeah, but
Um,
we looked at the phone while we were
sure.
playing it.
Yeah.
You can see it in the video.
Sure. But that video also lost us a subscriber.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
no more
But
Crazy
yeah.
Taxi videos.
No, I've been really about it. Super down. It's been great.
Yeah.
Is like in between like it's crunch time for wedding stuff, so in between that, like I've been playing these games, and it's like a really nice like de-stressor when I'm getting like a little overwhelmed,
Yeah.
and it's like they're really easy accessible and like easy to put down.
Are you keeping your name?
At this moment? Yes.
Okay. I just didn't know if we are gonna have to call you something else on this show or not.
Yeah.
We're thinking about maybe if we ever decide to like adopt a kid or anything, like hyphenate our names, like Howard or Rhonda.
Okay. I like it.
Oh, we're gonna have to start calling you Mrs. Shanee.
Yeah.
I mean, technically I'll be a Mrs., but I don't give a shit.
Okay.
So we can call you Mr.
Yeah.
You can call me Mr. or Miss. I don't give a shit. Like, he's my forever person. None of these labels change any of that.
Well,
I mean, they might. You never know. Like, the world is changing rapidly every day, Shanee. So, I mean, you never know what labels can do. But I'm happy for you.
Yeah,
Your
I'm
wedding
excited.
date
Quickly approaching.
was a lot closer than I imagined. Actually, I don't think I ever had a firm I don't think I actually looked at the thing that you gave me.
I did, but I think it's at the end of the year.
I think I just like you gave it to me and I took it, and then I just knew that I had it, but I don't think I ever had like a firm grasp in my mind of when the wedding was. So I
just have mentioned the date multiple times.
I mean, Shanee, at a certain point, you gotta understand.
You just tune me out. Got
Yeah,
it.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on in my brain, so I gotta filter out the important information.
Yeah.
I know that you're getting married. That's what's important. So I can't help but know that.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah. So this week, you guys want to talk about me?
Well,
yeah, we've been meaning to talk to you.
Yeah.
It's
talk
not
to
working
me.
out.
Yeah, this is the way we decided to do it. We wanted to record it, and
All right, guys.
no, so
It's been a fun ride. I appreciate your time.
I don't remember exactly when we had this conversation, but it was
It was a week you had to miss.
Yeah, it was a week you had to miss. But Tom and I were talking to each other about what we felt were the most important video games of this generation, of this console generation.
Yeah.
I mean,
To
us, like just it's a very subjective thing. So, I didn't like that you had to miss that because you didn't get a chance to talk about what your most important video games of this generation were. So I wanted to today talk to you about what you feel are your most important video games of this generation. And platform doesn't matter just as long as they came out during that time frame.
Okay.
So
I could think of a couple.
Obviously, Kingdom Hearts.
Sure.
Mhm.
Like, that meant a lot to me. Obviously, I talked about it for a long time. I even wanted to do a video on it.
You had to wait a long time to play that game.
I did. And a lot of people were disappointed on some things, but I wasn't. All of it, I enjoyed. I probably will play it again next year.
When that DLC comes.
Probably.
what is the most important thing about Kingdom Hearts to you?
Goofy.
Yuck.
The yucks.
Sure.
No, so I've made statements before, like for the most part, people like actually in the video game, like sphere are probably like pretty welcoming to girls, but there are like the outliers or the vocal minority. But at GameStop a lot, obviously, like a lot of the parents were like, "Oh, you didn't play or don't play games or don't know anything." I had a lot of those.
Yeah, you don't know anything.
When I was a kid, yeah, like that happened. I feel like a little bit more often than probably now.
Sure, I could see that.
So
Kids can be dicks.
yeah, like so a lot of the games that I are like related to people, like when I did play, like I had a lot of shit for playing like Halo or any shooter, but like that was obviously a little bit later because I'm like younger than you guys. But like the first time connecting with people and really talking to them were games like Pokemon,
Yeah.
Spyro, Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy, I got some shit on like that it's not a girls' game, which now.
What the fuck is a girls' game?
Yeah, I don't know. But also a lot of those like games, a lot of games like I said before when we did like my history.
Yeah.
My family wouldn't really buy me. Like I would get from my cousins or my sister's friends or my brother's friends. Like they would get done with the game and they would give it to me. And then Kingdom Hearts I took from my cousin, but Kingdom Hearts 2 was something they actually bought me.
Yeah.
Because it has Disney characters, so therefore it's girl appropriate.
Well, I mean, yeah.
But there's a lot of
princesses.
But there, like, I was a bit of a tomboy, and there was girls and guys that played it, and I could talk to a lot of people about it, and it was super exciting. I hadn't had been able to talk to a lot of friends about it since like Spyro. I think it was Year of the Dragon. So like, also in Kingdom Hearts 1, I played that a lot when I was really, really sick as a kid, and I was missing a lot of school, and they almost held me back. So like Kingdom Hearts just has that nostalgia point. It's very similar to like watching The Price is Right.
Yeah.
Like, it's just soothing for my soul.
It's
like,
been with you a long time.
So you said that a lot of I don't know, I don't follow Kingdom Hearts, so I don't know, but you said that a lot of people were disappointed in certain aspects of Kingdom Hearts 3, and so what specifically was that? And how did you feel about that particular thing?
So some people forget that Kingdom Hearts 2 did not come with a critical mode or as many bosses as it did when it came out at launch.
Mm-hmm.
They only played the final mix. So a lot of people said that Kingdom Hearts 3 was too easy. And that is a fair criticism. But they recently put out a proud mode. Not like super recent, but
Proud?
Proud.
and
Proud.
and that's gonna make it more difficult. There's gonna be more DLC with more bosses. A lot of things that people are complaining about, they're gonna fix. It's gonna happen.
Here's the thing, right? I think like Kingdom Hearts 3 very much reminds me of The Last Guardian in that, like, when you've been waiting for a game, when you have this crowd, this fan base
Yeah.
that's been waiting for this product for a decade,
Yeah.
you know, Final Fantasy 15, right? You've been waiting for this for fucking ever.
Right.
You're not going to be able to please everybody.
Yeah, like on a
You
long
know?
enough timeline, expectations become
Half-Life, right?
unmanageable.
If a new Half-Life
Yeah.
comes out,
It's not. No one's gonna like it.
there's going to be a lot of complaints,
Yeah.
and it's not their fault. It's not anything they
It's
did
just
wrong.
like if on a long enough timeline, it gets to a point where it can't match anyone's expectations or very few people.
And this
And then-
generation, we've got a lot of those games. We got a lot of games that people have been waiting 10 plus years for.
Yeah.
You know,
And some of the worlds were not super exciting. They were kind of barren, and I get that complaint as well.
Mm.
And I don't think that detracted from my gameplay of playing it.
but I think they're every bit as populated as the first two games, if not more. No,
No, it's populated by like enemies.
right?
Yeah, but like there was like say especially in like Kingdom Hearts 1 with like Alice in Wonderland world, there's like all these like doors you can go through. And Frozen was kind of boring in the fact that there is a lot of rooms where there's not that many enemies, but there's like a lot of rooms, but like doesn't really matter which room you're going to. But I had a lot of fun doing the traversing because that was different as far as upward mobility. It wasn't super different from Dream Drop Distance if you played that, which...
I actually did play a good bit of that.
But, so, like, I thought that was fun. I thought that was, like, interesting that they brought it in. And I'm excited for the DLC and all that. But I'm glad that Kingdom Hearts 3 came out. I'm glad it wasn't another, even though they're not technically side games, because they still are important to the story, but, like, off.
It's a numbered sequel.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that one was really important to me.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that came out.
Yeah.
What's the thing? What else is important? I also think that the God of War is important too. I think that my nephew didn't get into the first God of Wars really because they're
old.
They're
Yeah.
16 and 18. Like that's
Yeah, old games.
Yeah. They were babies when those games came out.
yeah. And my sister like until they got into like their teenage years really watched what they played.
I can relate to that.
She, like if they were gonna have some content in there, she wanted to make sure she had conversations with them before they played it.
Sure.
Yeah.
And you know,
If there's boobs, you have to look away from the screen.
Sure. Gods aren't real.
Yeah.
well, like he wanted to I think it's like Far Cry 2 or 3. No, I think it's like Far Cry 3 that has like the scene where they're having sex and then she like kills him.
I don't know.
There is a scene like that. Yeah.
Yeah, so like I think my nephew was like 11 when that came out, and he wanted to play that. I told my sister that scene was in there. She was like, "Oh,
Shanee.
Well, I mean, she could have turned that around and been like, if she wanted him to be abstinent, you're like, this is what sex is.
Yeah.
This is how it always ends for you.
Yeah. In death.
Yeah.
yeah." Just like if things were like going to be pretty graphic in there, she wanted to have a conversation with them before they played it.
Sure.
Yeah.
So.
But like God of War, like whenever my nephews came and visited, and I had that game, and my nephew got into it, I think, because when you say important games of this generation, like you do mean important to me.
Yeah.
So it was fun seeing him play it, because there hasn't been a whole lot of games, because my older nephew is more into games than my younger nephew is. And there hasn't been a lot of games where we've been able to like really talk about it a whole lot, besides like Legend of Zelda or some of the like younger games.
So this one really grabbed him.
Yeah, and he kept wanting to go over to my house so he could play it. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna spend the night at Aunt Shay Shay's house, like
because she's got the video games.
Yeah. Same with my older nephew too, because he wanted to play Let's Go Eevee on the Switch.
Sure.
And yeah, so it was just like it was super fun for that, like having games, because I liked the first God of War's, the first trilogy. Well, I guess it's more than a trilogy, but I liked God of War before.
Yeah.
And I really like the new direction that the franchise is going, and to have that in relation to my nephew, I think that's gonna be super fun. I'm obviously gonna get the next game, and I'll probably let him borrow it and talk to him about it.
Yeah.
And that was really important for me.
So that's really interesting because when I was talking about the important games to me, I don't really think that I touched on like what those games did for my personal relationships with other people. So that's really neat. I think that a lot of the time, that's something that we don't always pay attention to. But I think that's really cool that it seems like God of War brought you and your nephew closer together, and I think that's really cool.
Well, he's a little shit, so we don't relate to a lot of other stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Well, like sharing games with my kids, like it's very interesting having that generational gap there, right? And and sharing each other, like, you giving them your perspective and vice versa. Like it's pretty cool.
Yeah. So did he have like any like what was it like for him? Was it just like the action is great, or did he have feelings about the story or anything, or?
Yeah, he did, because a couple different things. I asked him about and talked to him about. Obviously, he liked the action, and he's a 16-year-old boy, so gore is great.
Sure.
He liked the graphics of it, but he also does have like dad issues. Like my nephews have two different dads. The oldest one's dad stayed in the picture somewhat, and then the youngest nephew's dad bounced.
Yeah.
Years and years ago, like when he was an infant. So having his perspective, like, hey, like, what do you think about this dad story?
Yeah.
In between, like, joking about how often he says boy.
Yeah.
Sure.
And like
that joke got old fast.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, it was fun for us because I'd be like,
I've always been more of a Calliope guy myself.
Sure.
it was funny because I'd be in the kitchen and I'd be like, boy, you want water?
Yeah.
And so on as far as like that goes, and
that's cool because
and talking about the small things and like pointing it out, and I'm just being like, hey, I really liked like when they're in the boat and he's like telling the life stories, or he's like getting annoyed with it, and he's like, yeah, I thought that was super funny. Like
I heard that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like just the dialogue between them in situations of like downtime.
Yeah.
I like stuff like that.
It was always cool because like if you get interrupted by something when you get back to the boat, he was like, oh yeah, like I was saying, or like, what were you telling me about that thing?
Yeah.
And it was really neat.
So I thought that was super interesting as far as that goes.
Shanee, I don't know if you're going to bring it up or not, but you played a lot of Persona.
I was thinking about bringing it up.
I don't know if it was important to you or not, but like
I just got really into it. I don't know if it was necessarily because when I think important, I think it means it impacted me.
Mm.
Well, I mean,
and it impacted me in the fact that I really like it and I got into it.
Right.
Yeah.
But I don't really have like a super big emotional connection to Persona. Like I just really liked it.
Yeah.
And I think importance and really liking something are two different things.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. So, like, with your time with Persona, did you develop any attachment to those characters at all, or?
I mean, I liked them. I thought they were interesting. I wouldn't mind cosplaying a couple of them.
Sure.
Cosplay as Ryuji.
Yeah. Cosplay as one of the monsters.
That's what I was thinking about.
Yeah. There's a monster that's just a demon on a toilet. You should do that one.
I don't know. Like, I guess the most impactful part of that was I thought it was really nice because it was the first time in a while where because I also was able to, was that when I was unemployed?
I think so.
I think so.
Yeah, because I would be playing the game, and then Berto would be on his computer, and it was like the first time in a while since we moved in together, because we had opposite schedules when I worked at the restaurant, and then also opposite schedules when I worked when I had my last shift.
Right.
I mean, you don't have to talk about it. Like, if that
But
game was not important,
Yeah,
I just brought it up because it
you
was
just
something
gloss
I know
over it
you
if you
played a
want to.
lot. You know?
Yeah, I liked that.
Yeah.
It was the first game that like I was like on the TV playing it, and then Berto was on his computer playing his game,
Yeah.
and then we would take breaks and like talk about where we are in our game. And I
Mhm.
thought that was cool,
Yeah.
but I don't think it was like necessarily like. I mean, there is some like heavy shit in that, but it's and like gross stuff in there,
Yeah.
but it didn't like it wasn't super impactful.
Sure.
I think that's because most of it's been touched on better elsewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just thought it was like really fun mechanics, and I got into it. But Final Fantasy 14,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I did Realm Reborn. I played that a lot with Berto,
Mhm.
and that's the first MMO that we really played together, where it wasn't like I was playing this for a short time and hopping off.
Yeah. Yeah.
And or like he had a bunch of other people to play with. Like that was a game that we played together.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a very similar experience at my house.
And that was impactful for that reason. Like
Yeah.
he played it before, and it was fun, like being kitty cats with him.
Yeah. Did you you kind of just bonded over that game with him?
Yeah, and it was like super nice because like the last game that we bonded over was Don't Starve Together.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Ryan was going through PlayStation Now last night, and he scrolled past those games. And every time I see Don't Starve Now, I think about you because you talked about that game so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, me and him were like looking up stuff and creating.
Let's take a breather there.
Yeah. Hold
Take a
on.
breather.
Swallow the drink first.
It's going to be all right.
I took medicine, so like the carbonation's like making it fizz.
Do you mean to punch you in the chest?
Sure.
Yeah, just do it quick, quick.
You got it?
Yeah.
Okay.
For our audio listeners, Shanee was dying.
Yeah. She was fanning her face,
Yeah.
and her face was bubbling.
Yeah,
There's
like
fizz coming.
morphine.
There's fizz coming out of her eyeballs.
Yeah.
I think I have walking pneumonia.
Well, what did you come over here for?
Joaquin?
Yeah.
Walking pneumonia.
Joaquin pneumonia. Cool. You all right?
Yeah, I gotta go to the doctor tomorrow.
Okay. Well, can you finish this episode before you go to the doctor?
So I think this counts for it. But Breath of the Wild of this generation,
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I think that was important, not just to me, but to the franchise as well,
Mm-hmm.
about what like steps Legend of Zelda can go to.
Yeah.
We've gone at like ad nauseum over that game. We've had 2 episodes about it. It's a great game.
Yeah.
It moves organically. Like it's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
The most
I-
handsome Link has ever been.
Just a handsome boy.
Yeah.
Just so handsome.
Yeah.
Try to think of what else I think has been super impactful. Even if it wasn't impactful to me, like I think was good for this generation.
Yeah. You know, I think, and it's weird because like, I guess that was the way that I didn't really think about it in like that kind of binary between I really liked it versus how important it was to me, because there are games this generation that I think that I've enjoyed a lot, but like they didn't really like impact me in any sort of meaningful way, especially not in a way that like some of your games impacted you or like your relationships. I think I had that with Final Fantasy 14 because I was unemployed for like a month, so I had a lot of time to sit in my living room and play that with my girlfriend. But I think that was really cool what you were saying about your nephew and God of War, because I think he and I sort of gravitated towards the same things with that game. Because like dad and son stuff always gets me. So like that's really cool that like that was something like that he also gravitated toward. That's really awesome.
Yeah, and he's not super great at communicating about it, but he's 16. He doesn't
Yeah.
have to be.
Yeah. He can live journal about it. Do kids still do that?
No, he's rapping.
Oh. He's rapping?
Yep.
Does he have a SoundCloud?
I don't know if it's SoundCloud, but I know he has a YouTube channel.
You'll have to,
He's not.
after we record, you have to show me what that is.
He knows I do this podcast, but I don't think he ever listens to it. But if he does listen to this episode, Love you.
Can we license one of his songs?
Yeah, ask him if we could license one because I don't want your nephew suing us. I don't want him issuing a DMCA.
But he, no, I told him already. The first song they put out on YouTube, I found it. Me and Berto were driving, and I was like, I'm gonna put on Dustin's song. Let's get ready to make fun of him. And I put it on.
Wow.
And it
Wow,
wasn't.
Shanee.
Like that's.
Huh.
I thought you would be. Man, I really hope he's not listening to this.
But no, he was this was like a year and a half, 2 years ago. So I think it's 14.
Oh, so it's okay.
Yeah, that's okay. That's statute of
So
limitations.
I found it, and I was so ready to make fun of him, and I thought it was gonna be absolute garbage.
Yeah.
It wasn't that bad. Lyrics, I already told him could use some work, but the actual like flow of it,
Yeah.
it wasn't bad, and I was super impressed.
A
And
resident
I told him
hip hop
that.
expert, Shanee Howard.
Yeah.
Well,
I like that you went from let's get ready to make fun of him to it wasn't that bad.
no, like he actually has like some basis for talent, and I told him about that. And
Does he have a rap name?
I don't think it's a rap name that I know of, but if he does, I'm gonna make fun of him for it. Cause
Man, you are just terrible.
The worst.
I don't have to love him because I'm an aunt. I choose to love him.
Okay. Maybe we should get back to talking about video games now because it's getting kind of dark.
Well, maybe he's less of a little shit to my sister.
Sure. So, like, I'm sure there are some otome that came out this generation that were important to you. No.
Honestly,
My horse prince.
I think you can count. I don't know how you're gonna do generations for like otomes though, because a lot of them that I play are on PC or phone, and I don't really know if you have a generation for that.
Sure.
But I guess like the newest one that I think really did something different was probably Mystic Messenger. I talked about that like 2 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, you did.
I don't remember it.
There's a check it out on it.
Yeah.
I'll have to go back and watch it. I
It's
guess.
the one where it's like a phone one where they actually like message you at times.
Oh,
and you
yeah,
have to,
yeah,
and you have to,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
log
yeah.
in at times
I remember
for
that.
that.
I remember that now.
I mean, Love 365 is a subscription service for a lot of otomes. That's like similar to Apple Arcade, but not as well curated. A lot of the otomes are the
You can't
same.
curate romance, Shanee.
You can.
Sure.
You can.
And
That's very funny. You're very funny today.
thanks. So that came out last year, I think, maybe a year and a half.
Yeah.
And that created more subscription services, and I thought that was good. Nothing that was like super impactful. Like I just played otomes here and there of like what people said that was good ones coming out. There was like a good one I played. There's a couple of good ones I played on the Switch, but most of them are garbage.
Well, like,
I think like the most. I mean, but none of those are important. They just like per se. But I mean, it is nice that Switch is becoming the new Otome console.
Sure.
yeah, it kind of has to.
Because
Not gonna be any
Beat us.
Xbox otomes.
You more than probably any game in your life, you played Sailor Moon Drops.
Yeah. You love that game.
was that this generation?
Yeah. Well, I don't know when it came out, but like you were playing it a lot during this generation.
I feel like you've been playing it a lot for the past decade.
Yeah. So
and
I mean,
we haven't even known you that long.
yeah, when we met you, you were playing it a lot.
It's all you play.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't played Sailor Moon Drops in a hot second.
You
but
have mentioned that game on at least 100 episodes.
That is not an exaggeration.
I think I just started calling it Drops.
Yeah.
Or my
Or
Drops.
you were just saying,
Yeah.
or like when we were talking about like, hey, what have you been playing? You're like, I've been dropping.
Yeah.
I did play a lot of Sailor Moon Drops.
Yeah, pop and drop.
Yeah.
I do gravitate towards
Stop, pop, and
having
drop.
one like go-to
Free time game.
Yeah.
puzzle game or like logic game or whatever.
Yeah.
I always got one of those on lock when I'm not like playing any other game.
Your Pokemon Go. You're playing
you
a lot
played
of
a lot
that.
of
Pokemon
Pokemon
Go,
Go.
I think definitely is important this generation
Yeah.
for a lot
Obvious
of people.
reasons, yeah.
A lot of people. It changed the game. I stopped playing I stopped playing Wizards Unite because of J.K. Rowling.
Oh,
But
Yeah.
that
Okay.
sucks.
J.K. Simmons.
J.K. Simmons is way cooler than J.K. Rowling. Just saying.
Yeah, Cave Johnson.
Yeah, just doing my portion.
And then, but Pokemon Go was super important to a lot of people. Like, a lot of people lost weight. Some people, like, made relationships over it, like friendships.
Yeah. And, you know, like, I think the most surprising thing about that game is, like, so people were going out in fucking hordes to catch these Pokemon, right? Like, yeah, still. And, like, the headlines write themselves of, like, people being murdered, right? But, like, you didn't really hear much. Like, there was a story here or there about, like, some not great Pokemon Go experience. But, like, overall, considering the millions of people playing that fucking game,
fewer murders than you'd
like,
expect.
went pretty well. Community did okay, you know?
Yeah.
Like, Niantic was pretty good about, like, taking Pokestops out of, like, terrible places.
Yeah. They did make it harder to find parking for a while. But
for sure. For a lot of places.
yeah.
And then, like, parks on certain days.
Yeah.
Like, I would go to the parks for community days, and I'd see, like, kids having their parties and, like, parents just being pissed off because their guests can't, like, find. And I'm like, yeah, like, you should probably have your kid's birthday party at a park.
Is your wedding going to be at a Pokemon stop?
No.
Oh.
I made sure of that.
Like a missed opportunity.
And then, because Berto's still playing Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
And then
I know a lot of people who are still playing that game.
There's a dude, Timmy, that I work with, and, like, he leaves work early to go to some of these events, you know?
Yeah.
Berto will get, like, sometimes a little bit testy if he forgets that a community is happening and we're missing it.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean?
Like he's like, well, if we leave at this time, like, I can still make it for this. And I'm like, fine, like, we'll leave at this time so you can make it for an hour.
Yeah. What if he leaves your wedding early? It's because he's got an event to go to.
That'd be so rad.
Well, actually, the wedding ceremony spot, there's plenty of Pokemon stops.
Sure.
Well, I'm not going to say where it's at. I don't want none of y'all to show up.
Okay.
Literally, like, one of our listeners lives in San Antonio.
Yeah.
No one's going to travel to go to your wedding.
A guy at
You're so funny, Shanee.
a couple people at my work.
This big
Listen.
fucking celebrity here.
Who's at your work?
My
Who
friend.
listens at your work? Let's name them.
Well, I know for a fact my friend Tank does.
Tank?
Is that the name his mother gave him?
His name. He goes his Sal, but everyone calls him Tank.
Does he love Cowboy Bebop?
Probably,
Is that why?
but he has his own podcast show.
Okay.
I know he listens to it. My friend Sean listens to it.
Sean. Okay.
It's a good name.
And then some of the people say they have listened to it, but I don't know if they actually do. But
Quiz him.
Yeah.
But I know those two for sure.
Yeah.
You should invite Tank on the show. We'll talk to him.
Actually, you probably love that.
Well, that's cool, man. It's video games are great. I'm glad that you have so many important memories with them.
He said that I was funnier than you two.
That's probably not true.
Yeah, he's an idiot.
I told him that he was wrong about that. And he's
Yeah.
like, no, you're
Don't
really
listen
funny.
to this anymore.
Yeah, like I know that I am objectively funnier than you.
I think Shanee is frequently funny unintentionally.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm never funny when I mean to be, except for to myself.
There are some times when we have been laughing at you and you didn't understand why we were laughing at you.
Yeah.
This frequently.
Yeah.
But back to games. Yeah, so I think Pokemon Go wasn't super important. Trying to think what else really. I think maybe it's just me.
Mhm.
Maybe I just found more games, but I do feel like there was a lot more games that were emotionally impactful than like previous generations.
Yeah.
Like what Reigns of Edith Finch, Florence. There's a lot of games like that that really hit on different like empathy stuff.
Yeah.
And I feel like I found that much more than previous generations. Like there's things like Heavy Rain before with PS3 and
Jason.
Jason?
I felt like even like games that have been part of established franchises, well, like again with God of War, like I feel like that was probably the most emotionally impactful that God of War had been in any game that I had played.
Yeah.
So, I think it's.
I'm
really
waiting for Tommy to tell me I'm wrong about something or bring up games of previous generations that I'm missing.
This
No,
is all.
I mean, this is your opinion.
Yeah,
you
this is
know?
all subjective, man.
I don't know. I just like I found much more
fairly certain Edith Finch means more to me than anyone here, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, there was the game about schizophrenia. Why am I blanking?
Shanee was Hellblade.
Yeah,
Well, it's not about that, but there's some stuff about that.
But like it was supposed to kind of mimic some of schizophrenic tendencies with like, the voices and stuff. Was Last Generation for sure.
Well, no, that was this generation, man.
Yeah. That's this
Was it?
generation.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It just came out. I don't remember what year it came out, but it was in the last year and a half or so, I think.
Yeah.
And then the one about Alzheimer's.
I don't think I know that one.
I mean, there's a ton of them, right? Like,
Yeah, there's a
like
lot
Actual
more.
Sunlight is a game about depression, right? Like there's definitely more this generation than previous generations for sure. But like think about the games you just listed, and the majority of them are either independent games or games made by a very small handful of people.
Yeah.
And it's because indie games have been around since the 80s, right? But like they really took off last generation.
Yeah.
And this generation is when we're seeing the fruits, like we're seeing that bear fruit, you know.
Yeah. And I think that it just seems like people are. I guess I can't say that they're more willing to, because I don't have a metric for this, but it just seems like people are more able to engage with that sort of subject matter now because of the games that are coming out. And I think that's neat. Video games tell stories.
Yeah.
Of our lives.
And then
That's gonna be the title of this episode.
Every time you say blank is going to be the title of this episode, it rarely is.
It's because I always forget.
sometimes it is.
Sometimes if it's a real good one, like that really got to laugh, I make sure to remember it.
Sure.
Like, come on, Cheech.
So on one of the last video that I put up, like I asked Kaylee to help me name it, and she was like, I don't know, I'm not really good at coming up with titles. I just made it the title.
Yeah, I saw the title for it, and I was like, but he's actually really good at coming up with titles.
Yeah, no, I'm not selling myself short.
And then I know there's a lot of Blizzard controversy going on, rightfully, but Diablo 3 was something that my dad really enjoyed, and
Play that with your dad?
I didn't play it with him, but I played it, and then I gave my game to him, and he got really into it. He didn't like it as much as all the other ones, but it was another thing that me and my dad could relate to.
Yeah.
Besides, like, because we have like our franchises and stuff, like Diablo, StarCraft, and Game of Thrones are probably, and Harry Potter are probably like the big things that me and my dad talk about.
Yeah.
When it comes to like fandoms.
Yeah, Diablo 3.
I love that game.
Me too. As much as like people shit all over that game, but like there's a ton of people that love it. I think it's still the third best-selling PC game ever.
It's just it's fun.
So I played it with my brother, and I haven't played a game with my brother since probably 98.
Well, I just remember like when that game was, I don't know, I don't want to say announced, but like not announced, but like when they started showing off like screenshots of the game, and then there was all these diehard Diablo 2 fans who were just like, it's too bright or too cartoony or whatever, but it's just like the game's fucking fun.
You know, yeah, visually it was very, very different, but
My dad just said that he didn't have as much fun as he did with playing Diablo 2.
It's probably because there's no Cal level.
But he really likes
There is.
StarCraft. But he only plays on PC. And but he did really like StarCraft 2. And I let him, and I gave him my version of that too. So he was like super excited about that. Definitely enjoyed that. And then I played on the PS3, which is, I know, last generation with my brother. And I haven't played, like I said, I haven't played a game with my brother probably since 98.
Yeah. It's a great game. And it's a fun game to play. I never thought in a million years that Diablo could be a couch co-op game, but here we are.
At the launch, like, I remember me and Sarah and Patrick getting our laptops together and just sitting around her fucking dining room table playing.
That sounds so great.
It wasn't a LAN thing, you know,
That
but like
sounds great.
it's the closest LAN experience I've had in many, many years, you know? And yeah, it's just awesome.
Sounds great.
That's lovely.
I was just talking to someone the other day about how I think LAN parties are the best, and I would like to attend another one.
Make it happen.
Yeah, not at my house, but somewhere. They're great. I haven't been to a LAN party since like Halo 1 or 2, but I remember having a great time.
Oh, oddly enough, I started playing Halo 1 this last week.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
What sparked that?
Is it going through my 360 games, and it's like it's not the remaster or the anniversary edition. It's
Sure.
like the Xbox
Yeah,
version of Combat Evolved, and just started fucking around with it.
Did you have a good time?
Yeah, I mean, I've always looked at Halo as flawed,
Sure.
even from the beginning.
Yeah.
But it's undeniably fun.
Yeah.
You know.
But I think that's all I can think about that's important
Okay.
or
Well,
impactful.
Thank you for sharing that with us, Shanee. That's really cool.
You're welcome. Now we're going to play not Rider Strong on the Devil Cyrus.
No, this is
I
called.
forgot we're still doing. I forgot about this. I actually want to cut this segment, but we can go for it.
Really?
today.
Because I've been having more fun with this one than the.
Normally the games that I come in with.
Yeah. Because usually Shanee's games are.
Okay.
Just,
Well, we can keep it going. If you guys want to, I'm not. I'm
You
not
don't
the
like it?
I'm not George W.
okay.
All right. You guys want to keep up going with it? We can keep going with
Well, Tom, do you not like it?
it. I think it was a good idea. I think maybe like if we just made it an episode,
Okay.
I
I think that's probably a better idea, actually.
Yeah, that's probably a better idea.
So this is going to be the last
I
time
was thinking about like
we do Page
what
Masters.
if we do check it out as a segment?
You mean like put it in, like bake it into an episode?
Just each week, one of us recommend a game or product or whatever.
Oh yeah, I have been missing Check It Out actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I
let's
think it's been enough time that we like have restocked our game supply.
let's do one more Page Masters.
Okay.
Just go in there. That's fine. That's Tom's book, right?
Yeah.
Look at his immaculate handwriting.
I know, it's so
He's
nice.
got really good handwriting.
It gets real dirty when my hand gets tired.
Like ever
that.
since we were kids, I feel like Tom has always had really good handwriting. And well, because I remember when I was a kid, like my brain said that boys had bad handwriting and girls always had good handwriting.
Oh, that's not true.
But Tom broke the cycle. He changed my perspective.
All right. So I'm assuming
You're
these
really there you go.
It's fine.
I'm assuming this is probably for a newscast.
Okay. Just read it to me.
Adam Mudd sentenced to 2 years after creating software used to hack Sony and Microsoft.
Yeah, this is definitely for a newscast.
Yeah.
I don't remember that story at all.
Mutant Buds.
Vanquish is above that. I don't know how
Probably
long.
because Vanquish was coming to PC.
Maybe.
Tom Lipschultz name removed from Akibas Beat, Xseed Local Acquire.
I don't remember that at all either.
Huh.
I'm sorry.
It's
This-
okay. This is
Oh wow! This will time frame this. New 2DS XL, $150, July 28th.
That is a steal. And
Yeah.
you can get them bitches for like $70 now too.
yeah.
Yeah. Call of Duty World War II, no region.
No regen, no regenerating health.
Yep.
Yeah.
I just got that through my Humble bundle thing.
I wanted to play that one. I never did.
Well,
Well, now you can.
Night
Okay.
Trap re-release on PS4 and Xbox One.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. It's a fun game.
The Blob, the 2008 Wii game coming.
Yeah.
Oh
in
yeah,
$15.
the Blob.
That's funny.
Yeah.
This isn't very interesting though.
No.
No, but
I like this little moment in time. That's what I
Sure,
like about
sure.
it.
I just
Sure.
like the
Yeah.
Who's Tom Lipschultz?
I don't
What is
know.
he doing?
I don't know. But they took him away.
Yeah.
He's removed. The Peggy Rates Broken Age for Xbox.
Why is that interesting?
Because I guess we didn't know it was coming to Xbox.
Or maybe it was just, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe.
Or we were just scrambling for news. And if anybody was wondering, Pan-European Game Informer information. That's the Peggy. You wrote that in quotations. Or like a parentheses. G-Rack rates Rockman Legacy Collection 2.
Oh, yeah. Because we didn't know that was coming out yet.
And then in parentheses, Game Rating and Administration Committee.
Wait, rates what?
Mega Man Legacy Collection
okay.
2. That's Ryan's handwriting.
Yeah, this looks like the notes of a madman.
Yeah, this looks like some serial killers.
No, I don't want to go into it. I just want to read out what's on this page. Jealousy? ? Sex. Affair for Simon.
Shit.
What?
POS contradiction. Mrs.
You
Story.
don't want to read that, Shanee.
Hey,
Mrs. Story.
hey,
Glasgow,
maybe we should
baby. Alias.
Tom,
Actually Eve.
push the button, Tom.
Odeon,
Tom, do the
Charles,
music. Do the
Luigi,
music so we can.
Florence Diary. Tattoo.
That's very funny.
Yikes.
That is very funny.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Hey, that was a
madman.
that was a different Ryan.
Wow.
Jealousy. Sex.
That's a different Ryan.
That's very good. I like that.
That's so funny. But yeah, that was Page Masters
Really, really wish you
for
didn't.
the last time.
I wish you didn't have to see that, Shanee.
I'm glad I did. I feel like I know more about you.
I like
Cool.
that.
Take us out.
But yeah, if any of those games are important to you, hit us up on any of our social media or our Discord. We'd love to hear from you. But bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.